So Stadia just announced a whole new event coming this March 15th for the Google for Games Developers Summit, where they're going to talk about, apparently guys, Stadia's plans for this year. Oh man, we're going to have to buckle up. Stadia also announced 4 games that are coming soon, guys. We have a lot to cover in this video. Let's get into it. Let's go ahead and start here with what Stadia just tweeted about an hour ago. It says, mark your calendars, you're invited to join us for the Google for Games Developers Summit. Something, guys, that they've never announced via their social media like this in the past years. So they really want us to watch for this. One line here says, you're going to have the opportunity to go deep in a series of technical presentations and learn more about our plans for Stadia this year. So it looks like, guys, we are potentially going to get maybe a deeper roadmap for 2022 and beyond. And this is almost mirroring what we saw last year, where in early 2021, we got the announcement of how many games were coming for the year. Then months later at the Google for Games Summit, we got a bigger picture and they kind of showed us what's happening with Stadia, past 2021 and beyond. Now, looking at this a little more closely, there's also a new presentation from Karina Yap. It says, we will share the latest on how we're improving the Stadia platform for developers and publishers. This wasn't around before, as I covered in a previous video about the presentations regarding Stadia that really stood out, including how Windows games are able to be played on Stadia and some other stuff. Now, as to what do I expect for this event, especially when they're announcing it to the Stadia community via their socials like this, actually not a whole lot. I don't think we're going to get exactly game announcements for big AAA games or anything along those lines. I know a lot of you guys would like that, but hey, you might never know, but I really highly doubt it. I think more than likely we're going to get a bigger picture of what Stadia is doing going forward, how their new business models have altered the direction they are tackling in regards to approaching this platform with developers and publishers and getting more games. Hopefully, again, we get maybe even a more clear idea of what they're hoping to do on really big titles that a lot of people really want to see. Perhaps maybe an idea of their timelines for features, and this is a far shot, but maybe even upgrades. I don't really want to hype this too much. Again, I don't expect, and I've already said this 3 times, don't expect game announcements, but more of the business and technical side of Stadia and how they plan to tackle the consumer side more going forward, which I think due to recent news events, this is kind of Stadia, I think, coming in and saying, hey guys, this is what we're doing going forward. Rest assured, everything is in good hands. And I mean, I've already tackled this subject so much. Stadia is just doing fine. Also, guys, keep in mind, they've actually been going very heavy with surveys. They just emailed a whole new batch this past week for more Stadia users to answer on calls of what you guys really want to see. So it seems to me like they really are trying to answer the bell on what most of you guys are absolutely looking for when it comes to Stadia, and hopefully we get a little bit more of a clearer picture this March 15th. As always, you want to stay tuned to this channel because I'm going to be covering the whole event in full in-depth detail, so stay tuned for that. So guys, Stadia has announced 4 new games coming this week, and one of them I've actually followed closely all of last year, starting with this game here, Lake. Now, the reason I paid attention to this game is partly because it's just a different vibe. You play as Meredith in the year 1986, you're a mail carrier, and you kind of go about your day meeting people, interacting with them. It's almost sim-like, but it's offering branching stories and multiple ways to interact. It's just a very unique game because there's no combat. There's really nothing along those lines. It's a very relaxing and carefree journey. So far, since its released last year, it does have a lot of positive user reviews, so it is very well liked, and I'll finally get to dive into this one on Stadia, which I never thought I'd see on this platform. But another game announced almost close to Lake here is Calico. This is a sim game where you're set to rebuild the town's cat cafe, and they fill it with, I guess, pets of all kinds and decorations and pastries. The game is very sandboxy in the fact that you really can just do whatever you want and tackle and make this how you want it to be in regards to your own cafe. It's essentially another relaxing yet unique game. I will say it has something here where it talks about magic potions and some magic potion system and lets you do things like ride animals. So it's very geared towards pet lovers and just being another relaxing game. But a game that definitely caught my eye in these announcements is this one here in Deliver Us the Moon. This is a setting we just don't have much of on Stadia. It's a sci-fi title that has you assuming the role of the last astronaut, which is essentially a do-or-die mission that you have to go on to save humanity. It's a space adventure that has you overcoming some pretty awesome obstacles that look pretty gnarly, and of course getting to experience just being an astronaut in space and all the gravity of the weightlessness and all that junk. Never knew much about this game, but certainly now has my attention. Finally, guys, we have a game here called City of Legends: The Curse of the Crimson Shadow. It's a point-and-click adventure that seems to have a horror theme to it. Looks like it's filled with mini games and puzzles. This isn't really a game I'm very interested in. Not sure about the quality of this title either. It doesn't have any user reviews despite it launching back in September of 2021, and I'm just not generally sure about this game, but either way, we'll see both Deliver Us to the Moon and City of Legends the next month when it launches in April, and the other two games that I mentioned are set to come soon according to Stadia. With that, guys, subscribe, like, and hit the bell. Click the video on the top left if you guys want to see more games coming to Stadia this year.